Hello everyone, I'm going to be discussing this video, this article, Kiss Dreams Real. This is from my teacher, Rabbi Yitzchak Ginsburg, and we're going to just go through the article and discuss some thoughts. This is in an effort to show how relevant and exciting Hasidic thought is. We're trying to apply Torah to our lives, even to modern day metaphors. And so we're going to dive right in. We're going to be discussing a little bit about fictional reality versus non-fiction, true reality, about rainbows, and about movies, and just the interaction between our dream state, the sense, according to Sefer Yetzirah, that this book of formation, book attributed to Abraham. Every month has a sense, and the sense for the month of Kislev is the month of dreams, is the sense for dreams. It's actually the most number of accounts of dreams in the Torah are in the portions that we read during the month of Kislev. So I'm just going to read and then interject with some commentary. And again, I'll link to this article from inner.org down below. What is a dream? A dream is not necessarily the movie we see while we sleep, and it is not necessarily the plans that we weave for our future while awake. A dream is anything that hovers between reality and non-reality, anything that can be dubbed a virtual reality. When we dream, we experience the dream as if it is literally happening. But when we wake up and attempt to catch the dream and experience it, it slips into non-existence. Does virtual reality have any real substance? Is it necessarily disconnected from reality? So this idea that dreams are beyond our grasp, are just out of our reach, that's something that is very interesting to people. It's actually, Rabbi Ginsburg has said specifically that exile, especially exile outside of Israel, is like living in a dream, right? And we're all going to awake from that dream when Mashiach comes, when the redemption arrives. So this idea of living in a dream state and waking from that dream state, it's something that's very interesting. It's a type of game where you have a fictional type of game, and you have real life components to that game, like a scavenger hunt or some type of real world elements that you have to actually find in the actual world. And so that's the idea of having a fictional reality. You have a game, but you have the ability to wake up from that game. You have real world elements as part of playing that game. So too, the idea is that we're waking up. We're waking up from a dream. We're waking up from this movie state that we're all in. We're all slumberers and sleepers. And how does that look? How does that process? What do we experience? What type of things would we seem to see in the world that are indicative of this process? So here we have the headline, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. A good example of virtual dreamlike reality is hiding in plain sight. The celestial sign, or mazel, of the month of Kislev is the bow, the keshet. This is the place to reiterate that we do not believe in astrology, nor in the influence of the stars over people. The symbolic mazel of each month, however, can illuminate the spiritual work that we should be doing in each particular month of the year. So this is every month has a mazel, and it's just something that's instructive. It's not something that we're determining, guiding our lives by, but it's something that can be educational and could be helpful in our service of God, but not something that is ruling over us, like a zodiac or something like that. It's not like ruling over us. One of the manifestations of the sign of the bow can be found in the rainbow. This natural phenomenon is a good example of reality that is plain to see, beautiful and colorful, yet has no substance that we can feel or grasp with our hands. But despite the fact that a rainbow is a type of virtual reality, it has a great deal of significance in our tangible reality. The rainbow is a symbol and reminder of the covenant that God made with Noah and humanity after the flood, a promise that God would never again destroy the world. It is important to note that according to some opinions, this covenant was made on the new moon of Kislev, just a few days after the end of the flood on the 27th of Cheshvan. What can the rainbow teach us about the connection between the virtual world of dreams and substantive reality? So we said the virtual reality is something that's in dreams, or something that's beyond our grasp, right? And so this idea of saying that we have this connection, right, between dreams, between Kislev, again, is the month of dreams, according to the Book of Formation, Sefer Yetzirah. And also we have this connection to the mazel, to the zodiac of this month, which is the keshet, which is the bow. So we have a rainbow, right? And so we have this most beautiful song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which was actually written by two Jews and sung, obviously, by Judy Garland in the Wizard of Oz. And this idea that it's somewhere, it's beyond us, somewhere over the rainbow, right? Way up high. It's beyond our grasp. I'm just pulling up the lyrics to the song. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby, right? So we're destined, when Mashiach comes, to come to the land of Israel, right? There's this land that we dreamed of. And there's a debate whether the composers were talking about Israel or not. Could be, could not be. There's differing opinions online whether the original composers of Somewhere Over the Rainbow were talking about specifically about Israel. But we can imagine that this is a hope that we have, is that to escape virtual reality, right, to escape this dreamlike state that we're all in, and to awake into a place that is wholly better and wholly just peaceful and tranquil, and just out of this current day reality that we all are experiencing. So this is the imagery for this is the rainbow. And so it's very appropriate, actually, is that over the rainbow. What's over the rainbow? Over the rainbow is beyond our dreamlike state, beyond our virtual reality experience of exile, into to the true awakened state of the redemption. To continue with the article, conscious and subconscious. Apart from referring to a rainbow, the Hebrew word for bow, keshet, can also refer to the archer's bow that shoots arrows. In the Holy Zohar, the foundational book of Kabbalah, the archer shooting his bow is one of the metaphors used to describe prayer. Right? So it's like somewhere over the rainbow. It's like we can say it's like we're praying, right? We're praying to something at a distance. Right? This is like a long-range wish and hope that we have. In general, in the Zohar, prayer is likened to war. For while we pray, a battle is taking place between the good and bad in the soul. True, this battle between the good and evil inclinations is actually being fought out all day, but during the rest of the day, the battle is fought against our will. Prayer, however, is self-initiated, and therefore it is the time during which we strengthen the good within us so that it will overpower our bad side and weaken it. When we triumph during prayer, it leaves its mark on the rest of the day. If we overcome our evil inclination during prayer, it will be easier for us to do the right things and to overcome its temptations all day long. So what's the first thing that she sees when coming into Oz? Is that this evil has died, right? So that's obviously this is just kind of like a secular modern day thing, but we can see that somewhere over the rainbow, the good inclinations overcoming the evil inclination, right? So we can imagine in a dreamlike state when we actually arrive to this land that we are experiencing evil dying, right? Even in the new movie also, it's we'll talk about that a little bit in Wicked. Is that's the opening scene? We're gonna talk about that. But this idea that once we've reached this other land, the first thing we experience is that goodness is prevailing, right? Is that somehow good has won over evil. The Zohar expands upon the metaphor of prayer as war and notes that there are a number of weapons with which war is waged: bow and arrow, sword, spear, etc. Chassidut explains that the use of each of these weapons corresponds to different strategies used to overcome the evil inclination in our virtual war with it during prayer. The two most important are fighting with a sword, used for face-to-face combat against an enemy, and fighting with bow and arrows, used for shooting a distant enemy, who is sometimes so far away that he cannot be seen. The arrows are shot in the enemy's general direction in hopes of hitting the mark, right? So that's when she lands in Oz, it's all of a sudden we find out the witch is dead. And so sometimes when you shoot an arrow from a distance, you have this hope and this wish for a world that's completely good. You hit your mark from a distance, and you don't even see where you're shooting. And this is the idea of prayer, that we're just praying to God that our arrows should land in the right places, right? That that it should be successful, that our prayers should be answered, even though we don't necessarily see where they're landing, but it should be that it should be answered and successful. Likewise, in the soul war that is waged while we pray, the fighting with the sword is waged against the evil that is evident and clearly present in the soul. These are the negative proclivities of which we are aware. Fighting with the bow is waged against the concealed evil in the soul. It is used to try and rid ourselves of negative traits that are hidden in our subconscious, exerting their evil influence and preventing our progress, while all the while we are unable to identify them. So that's like the subconscious, shooting the rainbow as it relates to shooting these bows of the subconscious, relates to this idea that we're not fully aware. We're like in a dream state, right? We're not fully conscious of these things, of these evils. And we're praying that Hashem, the God, that our prayers should be successful, even for those things that we're not aware of, even for these ideas and thoughts that may be something like it's a dream for us. We're not fully aware of them, but we should be awakened from them. We should be awakened into real reality, into true reality. And so that's the idea. It reminds us of the rainbow, is that like a bow and arrow, we're shooting from afar with our prayers. And so the rainbow reminds us of that. It reminds us of the ability, like a virtual reality, to escape and to enter into a rectified state, a place where even our subconscious is purified. Right? Even God is cleansing and purifying our subconscious. We shoot our arrows, the words of our prayer, in the general direction of the unconscious evil, in the hope that they will hit their mark and neutralize them. The bow then mediates between the conscious and unconscious of the soul. The source of our dreams is the unconscious. Relative to the conscious, it is virtual reality. While reality is tangible and definable in the realm of consciousness, what appears from our unconscious dissipates when we try to catch it. It is nothing more than a symbol for something that consciousness cannot grasp. The description of the bow that mediates between the conscious and the unconscious is very appropriate for dreams, in which images from the realm of the unconscious float up and knock on the door of consciousness, only to sink once again into the unconscious. So we have this idea of a rainbow, and it's out of our grasp, somewhere over the rainbow, right? But then the opening scene of the new movie, 85 years later, of Wicked, is these people are running through a field of 9 million tulips. And the tulips are arranged according to the rainbow. So obviously it's a deference, as the writers have said, the producers said, to the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But instead of the rainbow being something out of grasp, out of reach. What are they depicting? They're depicting running through that rainbow, right? So we can already imagine that we're talking about a land here. We're talking about a reality that we're running in. And what does it say when Mashiach comes, when the redemption arrives? Is that everyone will be running through the streets and joyous and happy. And all the generations, you have the grandparents and the kids, the grandkids, and all the generations will be happy together and celebrating together in the streets. So this idea of running through the streets, running through these 9 million tulips, is an idea that the rainbow is no longer out of reach, right? We've progressed a lot in 85 years. And we're running through it. That's like the Lubavitcher Rebbe said, that Mashiach is here, you just have to open your eyes. We're running through these fields already. We just need to realize that that's what's happening. The rainbow is no longer this dream state, this ability to purify and cleanse and rectify our subconscious, our dreams, our imagination, is something that is we can turn that into reality. We can turn those dreams into reality. So you see so many movies like Barbie, so many movies are escaping fictional reality and entering into reality, and entering into the real world. Right? You have Barbie and Ken driving in their car as they drive into the real world, and behind them is a rainbow. This idea of leaving the rainbow, leaving this virtual reality, and driving, going forward into the real world. Okay, to continue with the article. Bows to the unconscious, bows to the conscious. We describe prayer as the process of shooting arrows at the soul's unconscious evil. Shooting arrows at the unconscious source of dreams is a source of psychoanalysis that attempts to identify from within the glimpses of the dream the points in the soul's unconsciousness that need to be rectified. Unlike psychoanalysis and the array of psychological methods it has spawned, Jewish psychology does not seek to delve into the unconsciousness. Right? So we're not trying to go according to Freud and those approaches. But how do we approach the subconscious? How do we approach these thoughts that are like dreams for us? We're not fully conscious of. Instead, it attempts to assess it and identify the evil within it. We can liken this to a person standing with two legs firmly planted in the realm of consciousness, shooting arrows into the unconscious. We have our feet out of our unconscious and not merge with it. We have to rectify its negative points so that we can become better people. So the idea here is that we're firmly rooted in the realm of consciousness, but we're shooting arrows into our unconscious in order to rectify, in order to turn those dreams into reality, right? In order to turn that into something that's a rectified reality, and that's the dream, right? Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really come true. What does that mean that a dream comes true? Is that these ideas of our subconscious, of our dream state, can turn into something that's real and redemptive, and that's the story of Joseph, right? When he was in the dungeon and he interpreted correctly the dreams of the chief butler and the chief baker, and then he was freed from prison 2 years later, and he correctly interpreted the dreams of Pharaoh, and which led to the redemption of the Jewish people, which led to the repentance of Joseph's brothers, the reunion of Joseph and his father Jacob, and all of these things was from correctly interpreting dreams, correctly interpreting the fictional state or subconscious state, and showing the truth of it, showing how this is real, right? And so this idea of escaping the fictional reality, right? We had 85 years ago where we have this dream somewhere over the rainbow, but we're running in those fields already. We're running in the fields of reality, of true reality. And we just need to open our eyes and see that this is the reality. We're not in some dungeon, right? We're running open in fields, right? And that's why so many movies, Harold and the Purple Crayon, Lego movies, so many movies are about escaping fictional reality and entering real reality. Because this is the thought of today. This is everyone is thinking about this idea of how do we escape fictional reality, and this is something that's very exciting. It's something that is top of mind, as they say. The bow is thus not only an image of shooting arrows from the conscious into the unconscious. We can also switch the arrow's direction and imagine it being shot from the concealed and inaccessible into tangible consciousness. So that's what we said, is that instead of somewhere over the rainbow, they were shooting arrows into reality from the unconscious, right? So that means that the dreams are informing reality, right? That's like properly interpreting dreams. That's like Joseph, to be able to properly interpret dreams, to have a tangible effect on reality. Originally, Judaism does not view dreams only as a tool to conduct a deep soul analysis. The quest to interpret the meaning of the dream is primarily meant to identify the prophetic statement made by the dream regarding tangible reality. Right? So the idea is not just for the sake of understanding our subconscious. It's for the sake of understanding reality, right? Not somewhere over the rainbow. It's somewhere here, running through the rainbow, right? Running through those 9 million tulips, escaping that fictional reality, driving into reality. So that's the idea, is to shoot arrows from the subconscious, from the dream state into reality, in order to better understand reality. The sages teach that all the interpretations of the dream follow the mouth. In other words, the effect of the dream on reality depends upon the interpretation that we give it. Virtual reality is fluid and evasive, but our interpretation stabilizes it and opens the door to transforming it into reality. So it's all in the interpretation, which is why we can use these modern day metaphors. These are like dreams, and it's all in how you interpret it. It's all in how you couch it and put the context for something that's helpful, something that is in a way to understand Torah and our reality, and something that is something like these movies and these ideas that everyone knows about and thinks about. Well, what does it actually mean? So those movies, those ideas, those are like dreams, right? And how do those dreams inform reality, real reality, true reality? And that's what we're saying. We're saying that this idea of a rainbow it goes from somewhere over the rainbow, some far off dream, whether the original writers were dreaming about Israel or not. We're saying that the true way to view it is that we're already running through these fields. When Mashiach comes, that all of Israel will expand into the entire world, and we'll all live in tranquility and peace. All the generations will be running in the streets, happiness. And so this is how we're able to positively interpret these dreams, these movies, in order to show that this is something that everyone is thinking about. How do we escape fictional reality? And this is something that is not what wasn't discussed 85 years ago. This is something that movie after movie after movie, song after song after song is being discussed right now, and there's a reason for that. The reason for that is because people are sensing this. They just don't have the words to it, and so this is an effort to put words and context to this. We can depict the bow as a tool that allows us to shoot arrows from virtual reality into tangible reality, from the dream to real life. The sleep, that is the sense of the month of Kislev, is not an escape from reality into a dream world. Instead, it affords us the opportunity to dream in a manner that will allow us to realize the dream, and by means of the dream to influence reality. So that's what we said. It's not somewhere over the rainbow dreams come true. It's somewhere here, running through these 9 million tulips, running through the rainbow of tulips, running through reality. That's where dreams come true, right? By opening our eyes to see reality. It's already in this rectified state. It's already in this pure and holy state. We just need to showcase that and to bring that aspect of reality out. This, for example, was the power of the Hashmoneans, whose successful war, together with its miracles, we celebrate on Hanukkah at the end of the month of Kislev. And so we have Hanukkah coming up. Their ability to face off against the world superpower of their time stemmed from the power of their vision dream. While a dream is nothing more than virtual reality, it makes it possible for a person to act in reality by the light of his dream, to shoot arrows from his vision into reality in order to rectify and change it. Kislev is the time to dream and watch as dreams do come true. So this is the idea. This is the idea, is that the Kislev, this month that we're in, the month of Hanukkah, is the month when dreams come true. And so this is the most exciting thing, in order to awake, to shoot our arrows in our prayer, to see that the rainbow is not somewhere over there. It's here in reality, in this real world. And we should awake to see that we're running through the field already, as we know that the 7 colors of the rainbow correspond to the 7 mitzvos that all Jews are obligated, the 7 laws of Noah. So this is, obviously, when we talk about the rainbow, we talk about promoting and publicizing the 7 laws of Noah to all the nations of the world. And this is definitely a way to wake up the world. So thank you very much, and hope you enjoyed. Thank you.